Hello friends, it's Patrick here, and today on Techman Pat we are reviewing this, the Linden 55-inch 4K TV, and it is by far the cheapest 4K TV at this size that I have actually seen being sold in Australia. So this is roughly $500. I'm actually not sure if you can still get it because when I got it, it was on clearance, but I'm sure there's a different model that took over, so the price might be out of date by now. But you may have seen the unboxing video, you may have seen my first impressions. This is more of a look at this TV after 2 months of using it. So let me start with the good things. Let's start with the good things. I like starting with the good things because that always kind of makes the bad things kind of feel maybe insignificant, but at least in context. So first of all, it is 4K. As you can see, one of my videos are playing and I'm in 4K, and you can see all the lint on my shirt because damn, I need to clean my washing machine. Great. It's good quality. It is an LCD, it is not OLED, it is not anything special, but you know, for $500, it does a very good high quality resolution, and the colors are actually pretty good too. And it's gonna be hard for you guys to actually see the colors, but I'm gonna try and interweave some videos here and there that I've taken off playing games because they've always got more vibrant colors. There is very little ghosting on it. Playing an Xbox One on it is very good. I'm actually thoroughly impressed at this LCD screen. It's just so good. There is obviously not as dark blacks, but there is also pretty good brightness. But there is also just this ease of use with LCD. It's pretty much a no-fuss system, and it is cheap. And you can go big. And it has some light bleed, so that's not a good thing, but it has that too. On the edges, when you turn this on and you leave it in a dark spot, so let's say you turn on a black menu, you can see around the edges a little bit of light bleed. The next good thing is, well, apart from the price, because the price is very good, it's got actually plenty of I/O. So it has a USB connection which can be used for recording on the TV because it does have an inbuilt tuner. It has 3 HDMIs, one of them is an ARC HDMI, which means you can connect it to a device like this, control this and that by the TV, and it'll speak to each other and volume will go down together. And of course, it has something that a lot of places, or rather a lot of TVs might not have, and that's optical sound cable. This has an optical input, and I love that because I use it, and I'll tell you the reason why I use it, but it's kind of because of the bad. It has no smarts in it, absolutely zero smarts in it. It is the most basic software, and that's actually why I like it, and that is a positive because the simpler the TV, the better. Because there's less things that can go wrong in the software. It's actually quite speedy in regards to doing things, changing channels. So a must is to get something like an Apple TV. And in fact, I got an Apple TV 4K, which I'll be reviewing very, very soon. And it does really help with this TV. And the way it's plugged in through the HDMI ARC, it actually turns on when you switch the Apple TV on. It turns the TV on also. And it actually feels like a smart TV. Now, the thing is, most smart TVs that have software in it, it's not that great. It's a bit slow, a bit clunky, and everybody's got their own different version of it. But you know, when you bring an Apple to it, it's got Apple apps on it, and it is as fast and speedy as Apple, and it's actually pretty darn good to use this Apple one. In fact, I'm considering getting another one for the other TV that is a smart TV because the smart apps on that are crap. Terrible and slow, and that's Samsung. Okay. With the positives out of the way, let's just talk about the construction quality on it. I really don't think it's that important because it just sits there, but the legs are actually quite nice. They're kind of flimsy when you first put them on. The whole thing's plastic, but it's not actually particularly thick. It's pretty thin also. You could definitely mount this on a wall. Right now it's just standing on this little shelf, and well, it looks pretty sleek. It's just black, nothing special, and I do like that. It is a bit plasticky on the back, but who cares? Who sees the back, right? All right. Let's get into the bad stuff. There's a lot of bad technical stuff that I'm going to talk about, and some of it might not make sense, some of it might, but I'll try to put it in easy terms. So, what is actually that bad about this TV, about the few aforementioned things? Well, the actual level of quality in the back end system. So this has the lowest HDMI standard you can get. Now this wouldn't actually be a problem if you were playing good old 1080p content or playing anything other than 4K. This is a 4K TV and yet it cannot play proper 4K. It has trouble connecting to the Apple 4K. In fact, this is now playing at 4K. It is a 4K video and it's going through the YouTube app. It is working, but if you want to go play something like Netflix at the actual resolution of 4K, it will not be able to do it. You'll actually get errors. You have to turn down the actual connection between the Apple TV to the TV to 4K at 30 frames. You can't do 60, so that's one issue. Even at 30 frames, you get errors on the TV saying that the Apple TV is having a hard time to keep a connection on the HDMI to actually keep connected to the TV. It's extremely problematic. Now, if you're using something like Prime TV, you won't even be able to watch some shows until you change a bunch of settings on your actual Apple TV. Using a computer via the HDMI is also limited. You get a lot of flashing, a lot of ghosting if you don't go and change the settings appropriately. The other side, it doesn't have HDR. It is limited to just SDR, standard definition. There is actually a pretty significant difference in the way the color is shown on the other TV that has HDR. It's not even HDR10, just standard HDR. The darks are darker and the lights are lighter, and it does look a whole lot better. So the content might look washed out on your SDR. Once you get past the problems with HDMI, you kind of get in a problem of the audio. The audio in this is absolutely terrible. Do not buy this TV thinking that you're going to use the speakers that are built in. Currently, right now, the speakers are actually running. They're a bit low volume and they sound horribly terrible, and the microphone isn't even picking them up. What you want to use is a soundbar or a surround sound system, and the only way to connect it, because of the way the ARC works, it probably won't work with one of your soundbars. I could not get it to work consistently with the soundbar. At one point it worked, and another point it wouldn't work. This also has optical connection, and that's how it's connected to it, but I have to use a second remote to turn this on to get actual sound. And here's the interesting thing. The actual sound will play from this TV and that at the same time, so you might as well turn this TV down when you're playing sound through there. And at one point, I had two different sounds going at the same time, and they were actually off beat. They're actually at different times. What happens is when you plug in the optical cable, you actually lose sync to audio, which is absolutely confusing and baffling. Now, for me to figure out that 4K setting didn't work properly took a very long time. It will say on the internet that it's the 4K HDMI cable that you need, so some sort of premium gold-plated crap. That's absolute bullcrap. Don't listen to it. You'll probably get away with a nice standard HDMI cable with this TV. You're not using a 3D Blu-ray, you're not playing anything too high, it's just literally a 4K TV dongle almost. It's just an Apple TV and you're playing off Netflix or Prime, and those apps are getting errors thinking that you're actually pirating the content on a TV because the TV can't handle signal. That is literally what is happening. So my friends, summary time, because I wanted to make this quick because there's really not much to talk about this key TV. This is a $500 TV. You will need to buy a soundbar for $200 and you will need to buy a smart dongle, and I recommend the Apple TV at this point. That's another $200. If you want to get the 4K, it's $250. So what you're looking at is $550 plus $500 for the actual TV. That's about $1,000, $1,100 with everything that you can see here, this, that. And if you don't already have an Apple TV, why bother, right, with this TV? So, at $1,000, that is what you get with this setup. Is it worthwhile? Well, you get 4K, you get a smart TV, and you don't actually have to buy any of those extras. You could just watch normal TV on it, you know, with an antenna. No, at this point, it's probably not worth it because you could get a Samsung that's 55 inches and it is 4K, and it'll cost the same amount, and it'll be built in smart, and it'll have a better connection, better support, better warranty processing, and all bunch of other better stuff that it will have. Because at that price, you're kind of getting everything. Yes, the sound might not be as good as a sound bar, but it's damn not gonna be as bad as the sound that comes out of this stupid TV. And yes, I'm angry because I spent so much time trying to figure out why I kept losing connection, why I couldn't play Netflix, and why Prime thought that I'm paying for that I was trying to pirate their bloody content. Who wants to pirate Prime content? There's nothing to watch except the Grand Tour, which I was trying to watch. So no, I don't recommend buying this TV if you're willing to spend $1,000 on the whole shebang. However, if you are only spending $500 or $400, maybe somewhere at a discounted potential, this is from The Good Guys, and I'll talk about the brand in a second. If you're willing to spend $500 for a TV that is 4K, that is nice quality, then this size, you'll actually be quite happy. And if you're just plugging in, maybe you already have an old, 4K Apple TV, or you might even have an Xbox One or an Xbox 360, whatever it would be, and it has HDMI and you want a big TV, it's actually not the worst deal at all, because I've seen smaller TVs for a lot less, and this is a bargain at that price. But if you want the whole setup, you'll pay through the nose, as in $1,000, and it'll get you this. However, that Apple TV, and I'm gonna review that separately, is so good, I would even recommend getting it with a TV that already has smarts built in. So Linden, quickly before we finish this video, is a Good Guys brand. It's kind of like Kogan, buying it, rebranding as Kogan TVs. The good thing about it is the fact that you can go to Good Guys and they've got a great warranty process. So if anything happens to these TV, and I haven't had too much trouble apart from the aforementioned issues with the actual 4K. Technically, this should not even be marketed as 4K because technically it doesn't work very well. It's very limited, but let's just say it works. So Good Guys warranty, and it's a manufacturer warranty, so minimum 2 years. So you're actually going to be probably very happy with that. So at $500, you can probably take it back, swap it out, and you won't be too bothered. Now, if the kids want a TV and it needs to be big, I don't think it needs to be big, but at this price point, smaller TVs are similar price. It's actually not a bad idea to get it for kids' TV room. Or maybe what I've done, I've got a spare room, I'm sometimes here and I want to watch something, or maybe I want to play some video games on the Xbox and everybody else is using the other TV. I want to use the TV. So for a second TV, it's a very good deal. Friends, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye!